What's up, guys? I am unmuting microphones as we speak. We'll have to give Linnell's microphone a little test, make sure she's up and going. Looks like I did some changing, guys, and kind of got lost in option paralysis. So, running a little behind. That's okay. I'm going to give my mic a little bit more gain. Probably should leave that alone. I'm still learning this new system. Check. One. Linnell's mic should be on if she wants to give it a test.
It's cold.
It is. Guys, I saw a couple posts on Discord about how cold it is. I know my house is cold when the temperature will say X on the thermostat, but yet the house and the floors and everything just feel cold. That's what it's been the past couple days here. It's been getting down like 6, 7 degrees at night and not warming up. It's been getting 20, 25 degrees max during the day. And the snow that we originally got, we ended up getting about 2 inches of ice on top of the snow. It's not going anywhere. And it's so funny because a lot of people down the street, they just dug out their car with like a little path. So there's still all these huge snow piles going down the street. If you hit one of those things with your car now, I mean, they're like, it's like solid rock. It might be worse than hitting that would be worse than hitting a car.
It's snowcrete.
Yeah, Snow Creek. That's what she was seeing on the internet. Everyone's calling it, like concrete, Snowcrete. It's we went to the music store today, and she made a comment about the glare on the snow, because the top is just a solid sheet of ice. The sun hits it, and it just glares into the automobile, and it blinds you. It was really bad on the way back from Winchester because the sun was on our right. Of course, she's on the passenger side, so it's just blaring in. But it's like that. I don't have that problem too much in the mornings. I have been leaving late due to black ice, going in about 30 minutes late, and then working 30 minutes over. I don't think it really makes a difference at that point. It's not warming up enough during the day to really, if it's ice at 5 a.m., it's going to be ice at 6 or 7. Because, the temperature's only getting up, 15, 16 degrees by that time. So Friday, I was just like, I just left at the regular time. It just drove a little slower than normal because there's a lot of hills through here, and I have to take some back roads to the job that I'm on. And you don't know the chemicals that they put on the road. It'll melt, then they don't work at, below this temperature, and it could be frozen. So it's been rough this week. I'm going to open up the chat. I can already see I made some changes in Discord, and I can already see that it is not going to go well with the changes I made. Because I only have one computer screen, so I put all the changes over on the right-hand side. They were on the bottom, and I didn't think that is exactly where I put the chat. So if I'm a little slow switching things tonight, that would be the reason why. I'm going to switch my mic over just a little bit so it picks me up. So we got 24 people in here. I want to thank everyone for coming into the live stream. We do this every Saturday night, and this is just a gear hangout. That's all it is. We come in here. It's just like going to the music store. We're going to talk amps. We're going to talk guitars. and what's going on around us. That's what it is. It's just a hangout, guys. I play a little guitar. You guys are going to tell me what you all bought or what you're dreaming of getting. We did, like I said, we did go to the music store, so we'll tell you the little story on that one. I went actually looking for something to review, and they had a really good Christmas. It looks like they also went to Nam, and they don't have the store restocked. So a lot of their Fender products, I've never seen them. They're a Fender dealer, and they sell a lot of Fender stuff. I don't think I've seen the store that low on Fender merchandise for quite some time. So they sell quite a bit of Fender stuff. And you know, the Fender that they stock really isn't the cheaper stuff. They're stocking the mid grade stuff, $1,800 to $2,500 stuff. That's their focus. It seems like on the Fender. I mean, they do have a couple of like the standard models, $800. I guess that's the Player Two. They do have a few of those in there, but they really concentrate on like the professional and some of the other, higher end price guitars. And they only had one, no, two Telecasters, and I think two Stratocasters in the high end, and only one or two of the lesser expensive guitars. I don't think I've seen them that low on Fender in some time, which, in my opinion, is a good thing because the majority of the Fender they're selling is USA products. And I like to see, it's not, I want to go in and see product, but it's nice to go into a store and see, oh, there's empty spots. That means that the store is selling stuff. Um, they are thinking about bringing in Guild. I talked to the owner today about that a little bit. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with what Guild makes. If anyone knows any Guild product that's being made right now that you would be interested in, I know they used to make electric hollow bodies. I know at one time they were making like rock guitars and like a solid body type guitar. Um, Evidently, they're thinking about that, and evidently the vendor that does Roland also does Boss. And I didn't realize they wasn't a Boss dealer. And they're thinking about bringing Boss in. If they bring Boss in, that also brings Roland in. So in their store, that's going to give them the option to do the Roland electric drums, bring in, of course, Roland keyboards, and also Roland's classic amplifier that everyone knows, their solid state stereo chorus, which is world renowned amplifier. What would they sell? I don't know if the Roland amplifiers would sell. Um, I know a lot of people love that amp. I know it's a great amp. I just don't know how well of a seller that amp is at its price point. But Boss, um, that would really get them. Um, they don't really have katanas. They've been selling the core model Black Stars. I'm sorry, if I was a retailer, I would want to have katanas there. The katana outsells pretty much all the $400 and under amplifiers. The katana is just the one, and it has been for many years. So that I think that would be a good thing for them to bring in is the katana. But like I said, what we were just talking about on the last stream, they actually make some higher end models. The katana's that's their baseline. Then they got that artist, and then that next tone. That's like I think it's next tone, something like that. That's their flagship model. You know, so that would cover them. We talked for quite a bit. We also talked about stuff they saw at NAM. And first thing, I want to rub it in. They're not a Synergy dealer. So the first thing I went right to them and said, did you check out the Synergy booth? Because I really want them to pick up Synergy. And believe it or not, I think Synergy would sell there. With that new IR20 head that puts the one module in, they could have that head there and the 50-watt dual module head. I don't think they would ever cover the rack mount twin module that I have. most people in my area aren't playing rack stuff. But if they brought in the 20 hour head and maybe the 50-watt dual slot, bring in the amplifiers they don't sell. You don't want to really carry the B man. You know, maybe bring in the Marshall module, of course the Sedano module, a Friedman module, a couple other modules, and have it there on display. I think in this area, that amplifier would sell. I know they may also make like a little desktop unit that you could slide the module in the desktop unit. I don't know if that would be a big seller. I know they sell a lot of these little Yamaha desktop amps, so someone's buying the desktop stuff. But they bypassed the Synergy booth. He was like, "Oh no, we didn't go there." What other booths did they talk about, hon? He talked to. I'm having a squirrel moment.
Um,
I don't remember what all he said.
I don't know. I know he said Ibanez.
Yes, they went and looked at the new Ibanez guitar. That new, I guess it's supposed to compete with the Steinbrenner and all those. Um, he thought they were kind of unique. I, when he says that, I pretty much already know they're not going to bring one into the store. I'd love to play one, that new ergonomic guitar that Ibanez just released. I would like to play one. It looks, well, it looks comfy. That's just me. Plus, it's unusual, and everyone knows I kind of like the out of the box stuff. I like having something not everyone else has. I mean, the Strat body's been around. There's tons of guitars that are modeled after the Strat body. Tons of guitars modeled after the LP and the Telly body. You know, they might change a little of this, change a little of that, but that model, it's got a unique shape. It's not really it. I guess the closest thing would be that one Jackson model with the points, but it doesn't even look like that because it's not. The points don't stick out too much on it. But I don't think they'll bring that in. He was like, "Oh yeah, it was kind of unique." But we did talk about the new gym. I don't know if you all saw pictures at the NAMM show of the new gym, the black gym with the gold uh, paint job on it. I guess it's paisley. It looks like gold paisley. Did anyone check out that guitar? It's a limited production run. They're only going to make X of them. And they claim it's going to be a lot like the DNA guitars they made several years ago and the Hydro Dip guitars. So when Ibanez says they're going to do something like that, that usually means under 200. That's probably going to be 100 is what they're going to make, 100 of those. No one has really said what that guitar is going to retail or their map price. I'm going to guess $9,000 to $10,000 for that new Ibanez Pia that's in black with the gold paisley design. I know that you guys are like, oh my God, it can't be $9,000. It's a limited run. And look at what the DNAs are selling for now. It's crazy. So since it's such a limited production run, and they're all individually going to be signed by VI and numbered, that's going to put it in a completely new price point. Would I ever get to play one? No. I still want a gym, but I've been looking at gyms and looking at gyms. Yeah, you know, I've got a gym. Well, I don't. Linnell's got a gym junior. I guess that scratches the gym itch, but I always wanted a gym, and they made one in seafoam green. It was like a bluish green color. For whatever reason, that particular gym, I guess they're about 10 years old now. That one just doesn't have the resale value that the white ones and the floral ones did. You can still find those on Reverb and mint condition for about $1,300. So if I ever do get a gym, I would probably go in that direction just due to they just don't seem to sell like the white model. The white model seems to be the most popular. And then the floral one. And I'm not a big fan of the floral one, but evidently they're worth more money. And then
Devastator said you could have had a rare guitar, but you canceled the pre-order, Avery.
yes, I did. If no one knows what Devastator's talking about. I had an order in for over a year on a 27 fret Jackson, and it at the time when I placed the order, my board was not causing problems, and then the order was in, and Jackson said that look, they were going to make X amount of these guitars, and then Jackson went to their vendors and said, you know what, we're just not going to make these guitars. We don't have enough pre-orders to make this guitar. It's not going to happen. So then Sweetwater reached out to me and said, Ibanez isn't going to make these guitars. And I'm like, what the hell? I've been waiting, for this guitar. I thought it was a done deal. You know, Evidently enough people complained at Sweetwater, AMS, and other places that had already filled out pre-orders that Jackson was like, okay, we're going to make the guitars that we know are sold that are under pre-order. So my name went back on the list, and I guess it was about over a year and a half. And, it's one of those things. I didn't pick the guitar up because at the time I had to make a decision, and I was in a position where I either had to buy a new mixing console or another guitar. And I made the decision on picking up the wing rack. And I couldn't do it right at the time. I had to wait. So everything happens for a reason. It's funny that you mentioned that, Devastator. I was just talking to Linnell on the way home. Ibanez makes an RGA 27 fret that actually, for me, would be probably more my speed. Bad news is I think they're getting ready to discontinue that model as well, because at Christmas a lot of companies were offering discounts on that model, and I saw one for $2,000. It's normally like $2,900. It went down to $2,000, and again I didn't do it because I needed a new board. Maybe that one will be the model for me, and the only reason I say that is I have a PV Vandenberg, and I want you guys to kind of follow through this with me. This is my Vandenberg. Pull the strap off. So if you look at where the pickup is, okay, this pickup really isn't in the neck position, and it's not in the center position. It's kind of in between. And I really like the sound of that. I also like that they tilted the pickup and they tilted this pickup. I've never seen another guitar manufactured with this pickup configuration. The advantage to the Ibanez 27 fret, when you put the extra frets here, it pushes this pickup into this location. And I really like the sound of that pickup in that location.
Steve says you need an S model with an edge trim.
If I had to pick between the S model and that RGA, I would probably, the RGA, I know what you're all thinking. Well, the RGA is an inexpensive model. Remember why I bought this RGA? Because they really don't make an in-between model. It's either a really expensive model or their lesser expensive model. The S model, they do now make a couple $750 S models. We've reviewed one. Shandor Music let me review it. That was a great guitar. Nothing at all wrong with that guitar. I already have a couple guitars with that type finish, if that makes sense. That matte wood type tone finish. I don't think I really want another one. If they made that guitar exactly the way it is, but they offered it in maybe a red or an orange or something like that and put a gloss finish on it, even if they charged an extra $100 for it, I would definitely do that. Because that had the quantum pickups in it too. So that would definitely be a guitar I would be interested in. And Ibanez is always changing colors. So maybe next year they're going to make that I think it's an S670. We'd have to go back and look at the channel. But it has the two humbuckers that I like with the edge bridge. But it only comes in the light brown and the red transparent, so you can see the wood grain. They don't offer it in a color. If they made that model in like a Lambo orange, I'm really liking. I like. My tastes are gotten expensive. Check out the Jackson Virtuoso neck through body with the active electronics, active EMGs, and Lambo orange. That guitar is stupid looking. Um, yeah, I could definitely do. And again, what's funny, there was one at Guitar Center a couple months ago. It was like $1,900 used, and it looked brand new. And I looked at the nail right then. The problem with Guitar Center, you only have a 3 month layaway, so that's going to be like $700 a month. I just couldn't. I can't afford that guitar on 3 payments. Now, if Sweetwater had it and they offered 6 months pay, I would have jumped on that guitar right then and there. It was beautiful guitar, neck through body and Lambo orange, and everyone knows I like the Virtuoso. I think that's from the guitars that I've looked at, and I will qualify this. It's limited as far as American guitars. It's the best American-made guitar that I've played that's modernly made. This guitar here is an American-made instrument. I have a lot of American-made instruments, and there's a difference. When I pick up this guitar, I can feel it. I can feel it on my other Peavies. I can feel it on my '86 Kramer. They just have something about the workmanship on them. It's just a little different. Um, and I really can't put my finger on it. I wish I could say, it's the neck relief, or it's the frets they used, or it's the fret dressing. Maybe it's a combination of all that stuff that makes the guitars so nice, that the vintage. Um, but this guitar, I don't pick up a new guitar and get the feeling I get from this guitar, if that makes sense. And looking at these frets, if I picked up a new guitar, I would go, well, those frets aren't very big, because these aren't like what they call jumbo frets nowadays. Back when this was made, it was probably considered jumbo fret, but it's not a huge fret on this guitar. But it has everything I like. I like a reverse headstock. This is my favorite pickup configuration. Ebony fingerboard, and of course, the world's best tremolo, a Kahler. Everyone knows Kahler makes the best tremolo. You may not necessarily know Kahler or know Kahler from their cam bridges, and people go, oh, I didn't really care for Kahler. Kahler made the best Fulcrum-based tremolos. And this has a spider on it. It's a great bridge. It's 30-some years old. This is a quality instrument. I've never had an issue with it. Same with my other Peavies. When I pick up my Kramer, that's got an original Floyd Rose on it. That's a quality bridge that's on that Kramer. It's 30-some years old. Again, that was before they started making them in China and all this other stuff. That was a very high quality, high mass bridge that's on that Kramer. It's the Imperial, and it's the ESP neck. So ESP made the neck on it. It's a great guitar. I don't have. I think that's about all the USA made guitars we have here. Um, Linnell's Jackson, that's an import. I believe that one's an Indonesian. Most of the guitars here, I would say, are Indonesian made. And I'm not putting down Indonesian stuff, guys. Just going back to what we talked about last week, if you're wanting to buy a USA made guitar, you should probably start saving your pennies now, because the import pricing, I would have never thought it 3 years ago. I was thinking $1,300, $800 to $1,300, you can buy a nice import. That's not the case anymore. It has jumped up into the $2,000 range really quick on some of these imports.
Cole
And
says, I'm sure you still prefer your Schecter, right?
over this, no. This is a This is a better, even though it's bolt on, this guitar has more resonance against my body. It's more predictable. Um, the tremolo is more predictable on this guitar, and that could be just because of years of playing the Kaler and the way the Kaler feels. Um, I like the way the palm fits on the Kaler. This one isn't as nice as my 2700 Killers that I have. All my other PVs have the super rare Kaler 2700 Killer. And if you're new watching, you're probably going, well, they still make the 2700. It's not the same bridge. The new 2700, it looks like this. It's basically a modified Spider, is what basically what the new 2700 was. Those have the 2700s on them, and it's even more comfy for your wrist. The thing, and I've gotten used to it. When I guess it was about 4 years ago when I started YouTube again. I started buying Floyd Rose guitars, and I didn't like this back part on the bridge that ramps up where the fine tuners are, and I kept feeling like my back part of my wrist was hitting that, and they're still made that way. Now I know Floyd Rose makes a low pro, and I have yet to play one. I've yet to have a low pro Floyd Rose in my shop. Looking at it, I think that might solve the issue. Again, it's such a limited production run from Floyd Rose. There's not that many parts available for it, and the saddles are made different on the low pro. So if you want to do upgraded saddles, or you want to upgrade the block on the bottom, or do, make it your own, it's kind of hard to find hot rodded parts. I know FU Tone makes a couple things for the low pro Floyd Rose, but that's expensive stuff. FU Tone's expensive stuff. When you spend $150 for a block, I'm sorry, that's a little pricey, and it's not going down the tone wood debate or the tone steel debate. I will say different materials do change the tone of your guitar. Stainless steel saddles do make your guitar a little brighter. Brass, I've heard it. Brass will give it a little bit more warmth, and steel gives it more bite. It's kind of up to you on what combination you want to do. And that's one of the advantages, even with the new Kaler. You can pick what saddle material you want, whether you want stainless, brass, or steel. Then you can pick your block material, that, and you order it that way. If you're getting a Kaler with a cam, you can pick the material that you want the cam made out of, because they claim that cam changes the tonal property of the guitar as well. I don't know. I've played some cam bridges, and they felt a little too soft for me. Okay, but if you like a really, really soft tremolo and a soft, easy feel, a Kaler cam-based bridge like the 2300 would probably be right up your alley. If you've got a Floyd Rose and you're always complaining that it feels stiff or it just feels too heavy-handed, you should probably hunt down a guitar that has a cam-based Kaler on it. That's just the feel that bridge has. This here is a fulcrum bass. I'm going to say that this is my favorite guitar on it. Is it my best playing guitar? That's kind of hard to say, and you guys may understand what I'm saying. When I say my favorite, or people say their favorite, maybe it's their favorite at the time. Because I'll go through the guitars here and I'll pick it up and I'll forget. It's like, wow. Now I know why I still have this guitar. This thing, freaking awesome. And you might play it for a month and a half, and then I'll pick up the Schecter. Wherever the Schecter is. Oh, right there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guitar is just stupid. And I'll say it all the time. The Schecter is. It's a stupid playing guitar. But then I'll pick up this little $450 RGA, and I'm like, my gosh, this is a good guitar. So I guess if I say my favorite, it depends on the mood that I'm in and what I'm playing and the sound I'm trying to get. That might be like the scapegoat answer, but I truly believe that. I mean, this is probably my pride and joy because I've owned this guitar the second longest, well, second longest of any guitar that I own. My PV Nitro Active is the oldest guitar I have that I've owned the longest, and I bought this as my second guitar for on stage in case I broke a string. And then I bought another PV Nitro, which is passive, which is humbucker single single, and that guitar was my backup. And it's been played the least of any of my guitars that I own. It was just taken in case something happened and I needed a backup guitar. That guitar I could take it into a music store, put it on the wall, and someone would think PV just did a re-release of that guitar. I don't think there's a scratch on it. It's probably only been out of the case. It's been out of the case more showing people what it is than I ever played it. To, if that makes any sense. So if you were asking, is this better than the Schecter? This does some things better than the Schecter, and the Schecter does things better than this. But this is still my baby. And before anyone says it looks much better on camera than it does in real life, for whatever reason, this guitar on camera just doesn't show its use. There's a lot of fine scratches through here and some dents and chips in the paint on some of the points. And you can see it's got real brass knobs where the turning the volume and the tone has worn off the electroplating on the brass knobs. Some of the saddles right here have brass exposed, so this has brass saddles on it. Kahler's machining and their product and their parts are second to none. The machining quality and stuff on his components, it's an expensive bridge, but it's made in America, and it's made right there. They're not. See, another rant. Dave makes every part for his bridge right there in his small building. They have their own mills. They mill every component themselves. I like that. If there's a problem with that part or a bridge that they made it. They didn't go out to another company and say, okay, we need 20,000 of these saddles. We need 20,000 of this block. They make every part. So they know there's a problem. They can go right into their software, make a change to a component, and they're going to engineer it properly to fit because they're making it. That's why if you own a Kahler, you can call them up. They still make parts for most of their bridges. The 2700 excluded. Now I know he still has some 2700 killer parts. It's a little thin, but a lot of the parts, they have even kits where you can update their older stuff to put the newer stuff on it. That's pretty cool. But the Floyd Rose has never changed. It really hasn't. Talking about innovation, stop and really think about what Floyd Rose has done since the one on my 86 Pacer Imperial.
Cole wants to know if you can play some blues with your favorite guitar now.
With my favorite guitar right now, I haven't been playing too much blues. I know everyone thinks I do play that a lot. I mean, I could play one of my guitars and do a little chicken around on it. I go through phases, and what's funny, Cole, that you just mentioned that we were at the store today, and they had, I think Devastator in the chat has, I'm not sure if his has the P90s. They had a Revstar, which is over here on the wall. I have the RS Revstar, and it's got the dual humbuckers. They had a like new used Revstar with the fancy tailpiece back here, the chrome tailpiece with dual P90s. Yeah, I played it. Linnell give me that look, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm still paying on the wing rack, but that would be a phenomenal guitar to play some blues on, and it played so nice. Again, Yamaha doesn't get the love that company deserves. That's yeah. Devastator says his has the Filtertrons. This one had two P90s with the big chrome tailpiece back here. Oh my gosh, that as soon as I've hit the first chord on it, I'm like, yeah, this is a nice guitar. As soon as I felt that, I run my hand down the neck, felt the ends of the fret, and I played the first chord on it. I'm like, yeah, this is a nice guitar. And it was used for 700, so I'm not too sure what that Revstar sells for new. It was the black model with the silver stripe, with the big chrome tailpiece, dual P90. Beautiful guitar. So I didn't get it. They had a couple guitars that I was looking at. Oh, yours has the Gigsby. No, this just had the fixed tail piece, tail bridge that had the big chrome piece back here on it. It was a beautiful guitar, beautiful guitar. And I made a joke. I told him, I said, well, now that you all have that in, maybe I'll bring my Revstar down. I'll trade my Revstar in on it. Let me know what the difference will be. And I would probably take a bath on my Revstar, uh, but it's used. So if I went in and talked to them, I'm sure they would work me a good deal on it because they're going to make more of a mark on a used product than they will a new product. So everyone knows that. Take your guitar into Guitar Center, anywhere you go, you're going to take a beating on your trade in. And when I tell people, if you're going to trade something in, you don't want to deal with marketplace and stuff, just take the beating. You're not playing it anyway. Just move it along. There's times where I do that. I'll look at Linnell. I don't want is this available yet? Is this still available? I don't want to deal with it. So I'm looking at it. If I haven't played it in 2 years, I'll just take it down there and say, here, what do you give me for this guitar? And it may be a $200 or $300 less than I can get on Marketplace. Let's say let's say I could get $600 on Marketplace after I answer, is this available 100 times, and talk and haggle prices with 50 people. If I can get 6 on Marketplace and they offer me 350, I'm not gonna worry about it because I know they have to go back. They're gonna check the instrument. They're gonna make sure it's right, even though it's coming from me. They're still gonna go through the instrument. They're gonna clean it, probably do whatever they do, and then they have to make money. They got to sell it, and it may sit there for a month. It may sit there for 2 days. That's their gamble. See what I mean? You know, they may not have anyone for 6 months come in that store that want that guitar. And that happened. I traded my, what was it, the Dean, hun?
Yeah.
I had a Dean MD24. Great guitar. Great guitar. And I forget what they give me for it, but they had it on their floor for $500. And that guitar was mint. It stayed in there for 7 or 8 months. And it just didn't sell. It even shocked them. They were like, wow, it's a Dean, right? We don't see too many Deans. We'll give you, and they gave me a really decent price for the guitar. And they put it on the floor for 500 just because they had never had a Dean. They figured it would sell quick. It just sat in there. I remember one week I went in, I'm like, holy mackerel, they sold the Dean. And at first I said, did you sell the Dean? Or did you put it in the back? And he said, no, we sold it. And I'm like, but yeah, they sat on that thing for a long time. So you don't know what's going to sell. So I might call them and just say, look, the Revstar is still mint. What would you give me? I mean, you got to look at, you can buy a new one for $550. So they can't sell it for $550. To sell it, they're going to probably have to sell that Revstar for $400. That's just the way it is. If I go into a store and I see a brand new Revstar for $550, and here's the exact same guitar used, I don't think I would pay $450 for it. If it was at $450, I'd probably go, you know what? I'll just spend the extra $100 and get the new one, unless it was mint. Now, maybe this one, they could get 450 for. So if they're gonna make money, I hate to say it, they're gonna need to make $200. So that's gonna put me at 200 or $250 for a trade-in. I don't know. It to me the Black Rev Star isn't that much better for me to swallow the difference. So if I want a Rev Star with P90s, and I thought about it on the way home, I said I should just get the P rails from Seymour Duncan and stick P rails in the guitar. That's the P90 with the straight rail in it. So you flip a switch, it's a P90. You flip another switch, and now it's a humbucker. So that would be something I could do to that guitar and make it, something cool. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that. Let me grab a guitar since we had a request, and we'll try to do something for Cole here. Since he wants to play blues, what would be a good blues guitar? And when I think blues, this is the first guitar I think of. It's close. Don't now. When someone says blues, don't you all think of this? Yeah, Devastator. I was thinking about the Rev Star. I was. But I figured I'd throw you all for a loop and go, yeah, let's reach for a neck through body Jackson with a crackle finish.
Wow.
Oh. All right, got to turn the amplifier back on because everyone knows the Yamaha, when you plug the USB to it, it likes to cut off. So we are going to go to the crunch channel. Let me go. We're still learning the rack, guys. I am still learning the rack, so please be patient. Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful. I said this the other week. Linnell has all the cool guitars. We'll go to the second position. This is a phenomenal guitar, guys. That's the second position. Fourth position on this guitar sounds really good too. Yeah, that Seymour Duncan pickups, man. Blue Mox. Everyone knows I'm a Seymour Duncan fan. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are inexpensive pickups out there that sound good, but I don't think I've ever played a Seymour that I didn't. I mean, I've played some that just didn't really go, but I've never heard a bad Seymour Duncan, if that makes sense. And again, they just got a sound to them. Here's the fifth position. And I've got a little bit of gain in it. It's not a tremendous amount of gain. I see it said, oh, Mini Guitar said, sorry, Walt Heasley. Oh, okay. Thanks, Minnie, for coming in. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat a little bit better, guys. Thank you so much for coming in, man. It's good to see you. Avery went down to Georgia looking for a guitar to steal. I don't need to go to Georgia. I just steal Linnell's. That's what I do. Let's go up to the special channel. I may have to turn the volume down a little bit. It's a good play guitar.
Is there a guitar drawing tonight?
Not tonight, guys. I know it was a lot of people are tuned in because I said the last Saturday of the month. We're going to do it next Saturday. The snowstorm and everything kind of threw me out of whack. And then also the issues that I had with the changing the board threw us off a couple nights. So next Saturday, we are doing the drawing for the Washburn. So next Saturday, guys. We did ask last stream, and everyone that responded said wait. Now, I mean, I know it's only a week, but it does allow us to kind of get things under control here a little bit. So next week, guys, next Saturday, we are doing a guitar giveaway, and it's a Washburn. So right after the break, I'll go down and get the guitar and get it for you guys. So you guys, if anyone's curious about what the guitar is, it's a beautiful guitar. It was donated the guitar by Steven, and it needs a little work. So we're putting a new volume knob in it, a new tone knob, a new 5-way switch, and a new jack. And then I'm going to go through and do a basic fret dressing on it. And we're going to sand down the neck, clean up the neck on the guitar, and put a couple coats of tried and true on it. New strings, set the intonation, professional setup. And I've already put a string tree on it. So it's going to be a rocking guitar once it's all said and done. recall, Avery, you promised everyone a custom at the real Queen Linnell pick if what was it? Pick if they were in the chat. Yeah. I try to keep my word. Oh, a modeling session. Holy mackerel. It's going to be MusicNGear. You guys would like that, wouldn't you? I like this guitar. As soon as she saw it, she said, I got to have that guitar. Timothy said, what did I miss? I got used to the Schecter. The Schecter's a little better at the harmonics than this guitar. I like this guitar. That's okay. I've got cool guitars, but here lately she has been picking out the nice ones. This is Linnell's Jackson. Look at the neck through body. It's a cool guitar. The first time I saw one, I was kind of like, I don't know about that crackle finish. I wonder if you feel that. And you do not. This back of this neck is 100% smooth. You don't feel the finish like through here. It's well done. No volute. I mean, it's just like you can go all the way down. The way they've cut this back way out like that. Look at where my hand is. It's at the 22nd fret, and I'm not even bending my pinky.
How much for that Jackson new?
I think they're normally, what, 1,500, hon?
I believe so.
When we were looking at them, they were constantly going on sale. So whatever the standard price is, wait. If it's $1,499 like it was for when we bought this one, Sweetwater, AMS, everyone was doing this weird sale for $12.99, and it would be on sale for 30 days and it would disappear for 2 months, and then it would come back. So if you're going to buy this model, okay, I thought it was a CYJ. That's the serial number. I forget what the model number is. It's the only neck through crackle that they make. So if you're going to get it, just pay attention. Look at what the map price is and know that there's going to be a sale. And I don't know why they always put this guitar on sale, but we ended up, what, $13.50 is what we paid?
I believe.
Shenandoah Music worked us a deal on it. I just walked in, in Linnell, and we were like, look, we really want the guitar. You know, we see it on sale for here or there.
Yeah,
and
it's $14.99.99. I just looked it up.
Yeah, $1,500 now. I would not pay that for it. I know that's the map price, but I see it too often at $1,300, and $1,400, depending on where you're looking. And it's a solid instrument. It's solid. This is a solid made guitar. Binding all the way down the neck, lumen lay dots on the top. It's got the binding on the headstock.
It's party.
Seymour Duncan pickups, and it has the good Floyd Rose on it. It's not the special or that new super cheap China made junk thing that they're making now. This is the Floyd Rose 1000. So it's got the good bridge, and the switch on it feels nice. Doesn't feel cheap. It's a nice guitar.
Steve said the serial number is, it's not Avery's, it's Linnell's.
Exactly. It says it right there. It also says, please like and subscribe. This is a kick butt guitar, though. And you can beat it up. Like I was pretty aggressive right there. Now, this guitar is the easiest to hit that harmonic right here. And I don't know why. The Schecter, I know it's all about the intonation of the guitar, but this one right here feels more natural for me than the Schecter. But down here, the Schecter feels more natural. And I know that's how you set your intonation type thing. If you're struggling with that, you can move it back and forth, and you can get that a little better for your playing style. Yeah, this is a great playing guitar, and it's got a thick sound. There's Seymour Duncans in it. So when you're buying a Jackson, now Jackson does have the Jackson branded pickups, but when you buy a Jackson like this and it's got Seymours, you can get a sound out of it, guys. You know, there's an old saying, I can EQ it, and you can. But right now, this amplifier is set all at 50%. So it's bass, mid, treble is all at 12 o'clock. So I could EQ it and I could get a little bit more mid punch. If I wanted a more modern sound, I could sweep it. You know, so keep in mind, I have everything set at 50%. They're Seymours. They're going to sound good. You know, there's nothing wrong with Seymours. Some of my favorite Seymours is the JB. I'm not too sure which Seymours this one comes with, though. I don't know if this is the JB and the SH4. I know she's got a Chapman that has the Pegasus Seymours on it. Is that what it is, Pegasus?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's the Pegasus Seymour. Dude, I like the Pegasus. I'm pretty sure it's Pegasus Seymour Duncan pickups. They've got a nice mid smack to them. I really like that. I had never heard of that pickup before she bought that guitar. It's an ML1 Pro with those pickups on it. That's a nice sounding pickup. And of course, I'm a JB fan. I've got a ton of guitars with the JBs on it. It's a great guitar. Let me hang this one back on the wall. And everybody knows I like the Quantums. This guitar has the Quantums on it. I'm a Quantum fanboy. You can hear that these pickups are a little bit more mid-focused because I didn't change the EQ. The Seymours are a little smoother and a little warmer
They're
than
still
the
waiting for you to
Quantums.
play the blues.
I thought I played a little blues. I'm not a blues player, guys. Everyone says I'm a blues player, but I'm really not. Yeah, you can hear this guitar's got a little bit more brightness to it and more mid-focused than the Jackson with the Seymours. The Hellraiser's a good guitar, Timmy. That's my opinion. The Hellraiser's a good guitar. Schecter makes a lot of great guitars, guys. What was the one we just saw at the store today? It was a 7-string, and Linnell likes it. It's a
It's just got one too many strings.
it's got one too many strings. I forget what it was. Oh, an Omen Extreme 7-string. That thing was beautiful. A beautiful guitar. What'd they want for that one?
Four something.
I thought that was a stupid deal. So if y'all want an Omen Extreme at a stupid deal, Shenandoah Music. And it's new. I thought it was going to be a used at that price, but it's new. Here's my Schecter. Let's plug in this Schecter. And this one's growing on me pickup wise. At first, I wasn't bonding too well with the pickup in this guitar, stock from the factory. And I got to see if the pickup is hitting the strings. The bridge on this guitar is the Seymour Duncan. It's a full stainless steel bridge. It's pretty nice bridge. This is also a neck through body with a 5-piece with Barbinga.
It said demo the Sustainiac.
Oh yeah, the Sustainiac gets kind of stupid. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. It's quite stupid. Um, the Sustainiac, you gotta fine tune them. I haven't fine tuned this one. This one I think's a little too aggressive, but there's some control pots in the back of it where you can kind of go in there and change how much gain and how much it's gonna, introduce that electromagnetic field to the strings to make them vibrate.
Timmy says it's out of tune.
Yeah, it is out of tune. I don't have everything hooked up. I don't think I'll probably have to raise the E string. Yeah, I should probably hook the tuner up to it. This guitar is so far past my playing ability. I can't. If someone comes up to you and says the guitar is just so smooth, it's so smooth, your hands just kind of glide across the fretboard. And if you're not one of those players, you like a little grit, this guitar doesn't have that. it's like everything you do. Oh wow, thank you so much, Wolfie Snack Fund. Yeah, he likes snacks. Thank you so much, man. Uh, it's effortless to. It just it's slinky. If that's I don't know a good term to put it. The frets and stuff on this guitar, second best guitar that we've had on the channel on review. This one, um, it's the second best. Even though it has a couple nicer features than the guitar that I'm going to tell you is the best guitar that we've had on this channel. This one, I think the bridge is a little better. Okay, it's stainless steel, should last longer, and I think the Sustainiac, which is a plus, it's not necessarily my thing, but I know it adds cost to the guitar. The guitar that I think was the best was the Jackson Virtuoso, the red one. There was just something about that guitar. And keep in mind, guys, a lot of it, when you pick the guitar up and it feels right to you, like this guitar feels right. So it's more than the feel. It's the sound and the feel and how it makes you want to play. Okay, both guitars, this one and the Jackson, great guitars. If you buy something that's more expensive than this guitar or the Jackson, you spend $1,000 more. How much better is it going to be? Maybe 1%, maybe not even that. It's going to be up to you and something that you want. I just think the fret dressing on the end of the Jackson was just a little better.
Steve says.
And I said that when I reviewed it.
Steve says, does it still have a screw loose?
Yes, it's just like its owner. And someone made a comment in the last stream just to put 2 toothpicks down in the holes. The issue I've had, if no one knows what the joke was about, if you play this guitar for like a straight hour, the bridge pickup starts to rise, and it goes up and it hits the strings.
Is that the John Brown signature?
I do not think so. This is just it's the Mach 6 with the Sustainiac. Floyd Rose. They make this model on a hardtail as well. But this one has the stainless steel Floyd Rose bridge. It's a beautiful, beautiful freaking guitar. I mean, when I first saw it, I was really skeptical about this. And you do feel it. I'm not going to lie to anybody. You feel that right there, that transition. But it's not oh, thank you, CDs. I got my buttons back. You can feel this transition, but it's not a harsh line. They've blended it, but I can feel it there. So when I'm looking at it at the pictures, like the Sweetwater pictures are like this, I'm like, that's going to feel really weird where they mask that off for that line. But in reality, I don't feel it at all. When I'm playing, I can't, like, I know it's right there. I can feel it going. But when I have my palm and my thumb back there, I don't pay attention to it. It's not bad. So when I saw it, I thought that would be something I disliked about it. But so when you look at the features, neck through body, stainless steel bridge, Sustainiac. The Jackson didn't have any of that. It was a bolt-on, but it did have Seymour Duncan pickups. It does have the 1500 bridge on it, which good bridge, but not the stainless model like this one. So I just thought the dressing on the frets was a little better on the Jackson. And it was something about the neck on the Jackson. Like I said, I think the fret dressing. Could you make this guitar just as good? I could go through and do a double chamfer fret dressing on this guitar. But the fret dressing on this guitar is good. So I'm not going to do it. There's nothing wrong with the fret dressing on this guitar. It's just not at the level the Jackson was done at. And the Jackson's more money. And it should be. For more money, you should get a little something. And at that with the Jackson, you got a little bit more hand time on the guitar. But this is a great guitar. So if anyone's on the fence on this one, I can vouch it's a great guitar. And both of them, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if the Jackson had an ebony fingerboard or not, but this one's ebony. And everyone knows ebony is my favorite. I like the ebony. Like I said, certain things on this guitar, the Ibanez, I can get the pinch harmonics better up here. And I can dig in better on the Ibanez.
Blue Monk says, Avery, I upgraded my Jackson Pro Plus to the 1500. Love the Floyd pop-in bar.
Yeah. Now something I like on the Floyds, if you guys, it's called the turbo bar. It's not a pop-in bar. It does have the threaded nut down here. But I like the turbo bar. This one has the pop-in bar. So out of all the pop-in bars, I'm going to say they nailed it on this one. They nailed it. I mean, there is, it has less slop than the turbo bar. But keep in mind, there's a nylon bushing in there, guys. So in time, you will have to replace this bushing to keep it that firm. But it is firm. I mean, if I touch it, I can feel it in the strings. That's what I like about the turbo bar. Okay? But this one is top notch. And it doesn't fall out. Like we did a guitar once before with the pop-in bar. And it stays in the guitar. And it's just the right amount. So when you're done with it, you can kick it. Did you see it just kind of gradually fall?
Cole says,
It may be just a little tight for me, but I'm going to leave it. It's close enough.
Cole says, Avery, do you realize that with this guitar, you're a different guitarist? We can hear all your potential.
I don't think it's well, Cole, I'm not that good of a guitar player. Everybody has potential. Okay, the stuff that I play, and we talked about this a while ago. You all say this in the comment. Do you actually feel that you are a competent player on the music that you listen to? I'm going to say 100% no for me. I listen to neoclassical rock. I listen to progressive rock, like a jazz type rock. That's the kind of music I listen to. I was just listening, I don't know how many people remember a band named T-Ride. The guitar player in T-Ride was stupid good. They had one album and then they disappeared. And there was rumors that there was a second album that was done, but it was never released. Okay? The guitar player in that band was just stupid. I don't even know who he was. But the band's name is T-Ride. Stupid, awesome guitar player. It was a different kind of rock. You know, it's kind of, I don't even know how to gauge what they did. I don't know how. It was different. Some people liked it, and I think the band now has become like a cult classic band. It's called T-Ride. You gotta look them up. Phenomenal band. Used the megaphone, did all kinds of weird stuff. Very drum oriented. The drums mix in that album is very in your face. The guitar is more subdued, and the bass player just comes out and wails and then disappears. And that's what the guitar player does. He just kind of falls in the background. You're not really paying attention, and all of a sudden he just blares out something, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then the band will stop and they start harmonizing. It was a stupid talented band. But when I listen to stuff like that and I look at how I play, I don't really play that kind of stuff, if that makes sense. I know what I'm capable of doing and what I'm comfortable doing, and I kind of practice that. So if you find yourself capable of playing a certain style, and people give you more compliments doing that particular thing, whatever that is, that might be a sign for you to go, okay, I listen to this kind of music, but I seem to be able to play, and a lot of that's your hands to your eyes to your ears. Yeah, I seem to be more apt to play this. So you guys can put in the chat, do you play the guitar and try to do what you listen to, or have you accepted that, okay, this is the style I listen to, but I play guitar completely different? I think the other week we were talking, I wonder how many country guitar players there are that go home and listen to Iron Maiden. The exact same principle, guys. Maybe they like love it, but that's their job to chicken pick. Maybe they're a great chicken picker, but they can't play Greg Howe, or Steve Vai. Maybe Greg Howe sits back in his chair at home, as phenomenal as he is, and he watches Roy Clark play and go, how's that cat do that? Because Roy Clark was a freaking awesome guitar player. But I wonder if Roy, if he sits back and goes, how's he do that? I wonder if Steve Vai does it. I think about this kind of stuff because I watch some of these musicians and I'm like, wow, that guy is so talented. He's so talented. And I wonder what they think about other guitar players, and what they think of their own playing. So I thank you so much, Cole, for saying that. I really try to get better, but my issue is guitars is a perishable skill. It truly is. It's like riding a motorcycle. If you don't get on that bike and practice and continue to ride, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay? Guitar is the exact same way. It's a perishable skill. If you don't continue to pick this thing up and practice a lot of different things that you know how to play, if you get rooted in one form and one lead and one this, you'll find yourself writing around that particular cadence continuously. I'm bad for that. So try to pick a night and play something different, different style, different this, and continue just to play and practice. And don't spend all night sitting there doing scales. Just don't. Yeah, you might get good at playing scales fast. But nobody wants to go to a bar and listen to a guy wail on scales. They don't. Practice 5 or 10 minutes doing your scales, learn your roots, learn how to use them in your songs, and have fun and play the guitar.
This is off subject, but TSA is going to be a grandpa.
Oh! Congratulations, TSA. I'm waiting for that phone call myself.
Do you want to take your break? It's almost 9:30.
Ooh, yeah, it is definitely break time. So, guys, if you haven't already, please go down, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. If you noticed, we did change our little thing right here. It now says on our way to 2,600. This is a small channel, but we're trying to grow. We're trying to get better. We want better video quality, better audio quality, and we've done that. Yeah, if you think it's not good now, go back and watch our very first stream. we are making baby steps. I want a good quality production, and we try to do that. But mainly, I want people to come in and talk, and that's what you guys are doing. Come in, do your point of view. That's what I'm interested in. We've had a couple people talk about the Jacksons tonight, talk about the Schecters, Ibanez, some other brands. I'm not brand loyal to anybody. If you put a good guitar in my hand, it's a good guitar. I don't care who makes it. I really don't. I am an old PV fanboy, but I know other brands made great guitars other than PV. So if it's a good instrument and you bond with it, that's your guitar. Now you just got to find your amp. What, no matter if it's an Egnator, a rack amp, a desktop amp, doesn't matter what it is. Find your tone through whatever amp it is, and have fun playing. And don't spend all night fiddling with effects. Don't. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Just find something close and have some fun. Put on a drum track, play a backing track, and just play. That's why we buy these things, man, so we can play and have some fun. Anyway, go down, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you're new, like I said, we take a 5-minute break in the middle of the show. That allows everyone to get a drink, hit the restroom, get a Vegemite sandwich. Just saying. And when we come back, we'll start all over again. This also gives everyone the opportunity to put things in the chat that they want to talk about. Maybe it's an amp that you guys want to talk about. Maybe it's a different guitar. We've talked about quite a few guitars. Maybe it's time to go over an amp. I'm all about amps. Oh, we do have to go over an amp. When we come back, someone remind me to go over the new amp. I got a story for you guys. All right, let's take our 5-minute break. And when we come right back, we'll talk about the amp. Okay, guys. Hopefully everyone had time to go get a drink, hit the restroom. Amps. I do know that we do have a question on Discord. And just so everyone knows, we do have a room in the Discord where you can go if you have questions that you want to, bring up before the stream. You can go to Discord. It'll say questions and topics for the stream. Just go there and put your questions and your topics. If something pops in your head in the middle of the week, you go there, you drop a note, and then that gives me a little bit of time to look at it, and it's also right there. So when we're doing the stream, I can go through the questions. Last week or the week before last, we were talking about, beginner amps. And I brought up a couple different beginner amps. Everyone knows Linnell has been really wanting an amp. Um, she doesn't really like, there's a lot to this amp. And the other stuff that I have here, there's a ton of cables coming out of it. And most of the stuff is wired into the board, into control room monitors. So it's not as simple as just going up and turning on the amp and plugging the guitar in. And I've kind of stolen her little Yamaha desktop amp. It's still easy. All she has to do is unplug the headphone jack, and she can play off of that. But remember what I love that amp, but it's got those little speakers on it. So unless you plug it into the PA, it sounds thin, just doesn't sound as good. Everything you've been hearing tonight has been that Yamaha. But the factory speakers and the little tiny drivers on it, it just sounds a little thin. It's a desktop amp. But I think it's great when you come out of the headphone jack and run it to maybe a powered PA speaker, something like that. It's phenomenal sounding. So she's been wanting, a combo amp, something, with a 112 in it, got the amp, something that she can just turn a knob and have a bunch of different sounds, whether it's clean, crunch, distortion. She don't have to fiddle with the EQ. She don't have to go in and mess with the delay, or I want reverb, or turn this. She just wants to turn a knob to get a sound and volume. So she did put one on layaway today, and the amp of her choice is the Fender GTX 100. So that's what she is going to be rocking pretty soon. She's going to make payments on it. And that amplifier comes with the foot controller, which is like $90. So if you're thinking about getting the GTX 50, okay, it's a little bit smaller amp, it is about $120 less than the GTX 100. But you don't get the foot controller. So if you ever think you're going to get the foot controller, do not buy the GTX 50. Just go ahead and spend the extra $30, because that's all you're actually spending, is $30 more, because it comes with the foot controller in the box. So the MAP price on that amp is $549. And of course, shout out and free plug again to Shandor Music. They gave us a discount, and I think she got a smoking deal on it. So if you guys want one, GTX 100 comes with the foot switch. Give Shandor a call. I'm sure they'll see. That's an amp, so that's kind of hard to ship. But I'm sure if you live in the area, they can work you a deal on it. They gave Linnell a good deal on it. They had a sale a couple months ago, so they pretty much gave her the sale price, the Fender sale price that Fender was doing the promo. I think it was like 2 months ago. We said we were going to get it then, just a little short on the down payment right then. But she did do the down payment today, so she's going to be rocking the GTX 100. I think it's an awesome amp. I tinkered around with it. Probably a month. It was right before Christmas, playing around with it. It's got a bunch of different amp models on it. The reverb in it sounds good. Delays in it sound good. Flangers sound good in it. It doesn't really have a weird artifact sound to it like some of these modelers do. It's a nice amp. It's a 12-inch driver, so it sounds full. I think she's gonna be happy with it. So we're gonna have to find a spot somewhere to stick it. I don't know. But she might put it over here because that's going to be her rig. So I don't think I'll be able to, maybe just for one stream, plug it in and demo it for you guys, maybe here or there, but it's not going to be something that we could keep in the mix because, again, she's buying it because she doesn't want to unplug a bunch of stuff that's tied into what we use to here for the stream. And that makes sense. I get it. But we'll definitely do a full review on it when we get it. It's a nice amplifier. We showed pictures of it last week, so I just wanted to go over that. She did pick out an amp. So let me go over to Discord real quick and see what's going on as far as questions. So in Discord, it says questions and topics for live stream. That's the room that you guys want to go to. Let me see. Question. Would you use a tool like this or something to eliminate to intonate the Floyd Rose bridge? So let me go to here and we're going to use the Discord. And this is his question. And this is a little Floyd Rose tool. So evidently Steve has watched my videos on Floyd Roses, and I do not use this tool. If you're keeping string pressure on it and you're just barely, taking the string pressure off, this will help move the saddle in little tiny increments. If you have an issue with that, then this is a great tool. But what I've found for me, okay, this is just me. Let me go back to the main screen. What I found with me is I can loosen the string on it, and I put my thumb on the edge of the saddle and I'll roll my thumb. Okay. So this isn't a Floyd Rose, but pretend I'll roll my thumb on the saddle and it'll just barely move. I have had no issues doing that. The only other issue, if you buy a cheap one of those, it hooks on the back of the bridge and it can mar the finish on your bridge. So keep that in mind. If you want to get one, I'm sure it's a lot more precise. If you have issues putting your thumb in and rolling it forward on your thumbnail, let me show you. So on this guitar, if it was on the bench, I would put my thumb in it like this with my fingernail right on the edge of the bridge and I'd push. Okay, can you do that with string pressure on it? Absolutely not. So with that tool, you can just barely decrease the string pressure and that screw pushes against the bridge and it allows the saddle to move. It's probably easier on your strings, but what I tell people, if you're setting intonation on your guitar, by the time you get that thing set, if you've loosened the strings 3 or 4 times, a really intonated tune, loosened tune, you've already killed the strings. You really have. The strings aren't going to last long. So what I tell people is I need 2 sets of strings. Exact same manufacturer. I'm going to put the first set on it. I'm going to intonate the guitar to the first set. And if I go over 3 loosenings on the string, I just take them off after the guitar is intonated, put the new set on it, and just double check it. If you change brands, you'll most likely have to re-intonate your guitar. I haven't had a problem with it, but it's a cool tool. I've just never used them, if that makes sense. And there's been times, you can ask Linnell, I'll get on Amazon, I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, I should really buy one of these tools. But again, like I said, it's hooking to this back lip of the bridge right here, this flat spot where the fine tuners are, and it's going over and it hooks onto the front of the saddle. And as you spin this piece, okay, it moves the saddle back and forth. So it's holding here and it's holding on there. And if you have the gold bridge or one of those bridges that have the blue and the green type finish, it is going to scratch through the finish. It really will. Black. If you have a chrome one, you probably wouldn't see it, but over time it is going to scratch the finish. So I've just never bought one. But if you guys use them, put in the chat. Yeah, I've got one. I've never had a problem with a scratch in the finish. But I know it's metal on metal, and there's going to be pressure involved. So if you have the money, it's what I call a luxury tool, if that makes sense. It's not something you need to set the intonation on one of these bridges. You know, they also make a little tool for putting the shim underneath the saddle. You know, it's hard enough with the string, so I just drop the saddle, the shim in there, and I take a flathead screwdriver and just kind of push it in there because there's
Nicholas
a groove and it's got to go underneath that screw.
Nicholas says works good. I use one.
Yeah, I just don't have one, and that's probably a tool people go, "Wow, he's not using one of those tools." I just never have, if that makes sense. And a lot of that comes from I always ran Kahlers, and that tool's not going to work on a Kahler. The Kahler, the way the bridge saddles move on the Kahler is completely different than the Floyd. So it's not something that I can use on the Kahler, and I played Kahlers for, you know, 25, 30 years. So I didn't need it. I didn't really start playing Floyd Roses until 5 years ago.
Steve says this one sits in that gap in the saddle behind the block that holds the string.
Okay. Yep. It's still got a hook to something, if that makes sense. Steve, I can guarantee you that there's been times that I've used my thumb and I've moved the saddle too much. So I can guarantee you, I could probably look at it within doing 2 or 3 guitars with that tool. I guarantee I could be more precise and most likely get the intonation correct quicker. Instead of me loosening the strings 3 times, maybe I only have to do it 2 times. Um, I'm sure I'm sure if I bought one, I'd go like, oh wow, how did I do without this for 20 years? But I don't have one. So if you don't have one, don't think that you can't set the intonation on your bridge. Just loosen your string, get all the pressure off the saddle, and eventually you'll start to know your Floyd Rose. How far you move the saddle in relation to how far out you are. Like I can tell by the rotation of my strobe tuber, and I'm looking at the saddle going, okay, I need to move this a 32nd of an inch. I need to move it a 16th. I just barely need to nudge it. That just takes time. And the more you set the intonation on a Floyd Rose, and pay attention to where the saddle was in your first setting to where it is when you're done. Because that's the amount that you need to remember, if that makes sense. So, being that I do it so much, I can kind of look at it. I can usually get it within 1 or 2 moves now, unless it's really far out. If someone's doing, they give me a Floyd Rose like, I forget what his name was, Smoothie Buns, channel subscriber. He wanted drop C with a Floyd, and it was standard tuned. We had such a hard time getting that guitar to intonate and finding the right springs for that bridge to work in drop C tuning. But I did get it. There is a reason why the drop C guys use hardtail guitars. Probably one of the most difficult setups I've ever done in my life to get that guitar to where I was happy with the way the bridge felt in that drop tune. Very finicky, very, very finicky setup. And a lot of it was, I think I put 4 or 5 different spring rate springs in that and tried different combinations of springs before I found one that I liked the feel and worked well in that tuning. So I know that I maxed out a couple of the saddles as far as getting it set the intonation. So you're going way out of whack from 440. And remember, these guitars, they're going to set these posts for standard tune. The guitar isn't designed and manufactured, as drop D being optimal. Optimal tuning on this guitar is standard E, 440. So when you start moving your tune that far off that standard, you can guarantee you might have a saddle or 2 that you have to modify. And I think we did. I think we modified the back of the E saddle. I'd have to go back and look at the video. If you look at how the Floyd Rose got this ramp right here before it goes up the fine tuner, I'm pretty sure I had to cut a 45 in the back of this saddle so it would slide back against this ramp. Pretty sure that I did that. That's what I feel about it. I'll probably get one. Okay, we got any other questions, hon?
I don't see any.
Woo! That means it's just off the cuff time. Let me see what we got. I gotta put the chat back up. Yes, I have. Mikey's talking about skyscraper. If you're talking about skyscraper tools, I have several skyscraper tools, really high quality. All my notch straight edges are skyscraper, and my fret rocker is skyscraper. So I know he's a small guy in his basement doing parts. He makes nice stuff. The skyscraper tools are pretty nice stuff. It's expensive, but it's good stuff. I haven't had any problems either with the ionized coating on the aluminum. Sometimes the cheaper stuff, you know, it'll flake off. The ones that I have this really nice gold color to them, and I don't have any spots on any of my skyscraper tools where that coating is failing or it was thin. Really, really nice stuff. I did keep some of my Firefly guitars. I do. I've got a. Hold on. Let's play one. So this is my Firefly double cut. And this guitar has been heavily modified. This guitar has the Dylan Talkstone pickups in it. It also has CTS pots and a Switchcraft switch. And I updated the bridge. It has now a brass roller bridge and a new hardtail. Now, from the factory, it was very difficult to get the intonation on one of these strings. So the factory bridge it did intonate, but it was really close. This bridge, these saddles can be turned 180 degrees out of whack, and they screw down like a Floyd. There's a little nut, and that little saddle moves back and forth. And you have a screw here that moves this whole piece this way. So it's really adjustable.
What are your thoughts on Floyd Rose guitars?
I think Floyd Rose makes a good bridge. It's like anything else. Floyd Rose also makes some bridges that I'm not a big fan of. Ooh, pure tone jack. Did you hear that? Click. That's a solid engagement. If you're looking at a Floyd Rose special, guitar that has a Floyd Rose special on it, it may be okay for a couple years. It depends on how much you play it. But what I hear is after a couple years, the knife edges get dull. The metal's not as hard, so the bridge starts not returning to zero. In that new cheap Floyd Rose, I no longer have my cheap Floyd Rose up here. The one with the screen print says Floyd Rose on it, that's just a horrible bridge. And what's sad is LTD has started putting that on their $600 and under guitars. So shame on you, ESP, for putting such a low quality bridge on a guitar. I get it. It's an LTD. It's your budget brand, but that's not a product that you want to put on your guitar. At least give us a Floyd Rose special on the LTD. It's a horrible bridge. But I've got a lot of guitars with Floyd Roses, and I have good luck with them. If they're set up right, it's a solid bridge. This guitar, I haven't played this guitar since the last time we played it on the stream. So that's good. That's been a long time ago. I haven't tuned it. Is it in tune? No, but it's been a couple months. this is a great playing guitar. I do have some videos on this guitar we went through, and I did a dressing on the frets, leveled the frets, polished the frets. We put Godo locking tuners on it, along with the new hardware Dylan Talks Tone pickups. So I think I have close to $600 in this guitar. So it's a monster. So let's play something that this guitar was actually built to play. So I built this guitar to play a more like rock, lighter distortion type rock stuff. The Dylan Talks Tone pickups are awesome. Let's try the center position. And I have it wired where each volume you can kind of turn down. It's a good sounding guitar. Firefly. I really wanted something that had, P90s in it, something that I could, get that P90 sound. And it's got that sound. it's just P90s have a sound. And they're really responsive. If I turn it back, you can. You roll the tone back, and roll the tone back. I guess I should go ahead and finish this guitar, put the pick guard back on it, put the knobs back on it. I just kind of stopped working on it. Let's try that in the center position. It's just got a sound. It's just a thick single coil. Yeah, I still have this Firefly, and we still have the George Lynch Firefly, and I have a Les Paul Firefly with P90s in it. The Les Paul with P90s in it is still all stock, and I'm pretty thankful I have that one. It was about, I don't know, a little over 2 years ago, Firefly released that guitar, and it's got conventional frets. It doesn't have the ball-end frets. So I like that one because I like conventional frets more. And that's a pretty solid instrument.
Backwoods Billy says, Avery, are they potted? Which I believe they are. Sounds like it's either more winds slightly or bigger magnets or overdrive.
I got a little bit of overdrive in it. These are the Dylan Talks Tone P90s.
How many guitars do you have?
I don't want to count. So here's here they are. Let's just go to clean. So here's the Dylan Talks Tone P90s in the clean. They have a really nice full bottom end. So I'm going to turn everything up on maximum. Let's go to our neck position. I think the Dylan, I think the Seymours, I may like the Seymours just a little better. But these are phenomenal pickups by Dylan. That's the neck. Here's the bridge. You can instantly hear they get a little brighter. Good sounding. I'm a fan in the center position. Great sounding pickups. More rock and roll. Someone was asking about the Firefly. You know, you got to have something like this, guys. You know, something that's not necessarily just always balls to the walls. Um, and I knew that I liked P90s. So everyone knows that I kind of want a Gibson, whether it's a double cut Gibson like this. You know, I know this is a Firefly, but maybe a double cut Gibson DC or a Les Paul with P90s. So I figured I would take this Firefly guitar and make it as good as I could possibly make it. And I feel I achieved that. I don't think there's anything else that you could do to this guitar to make it better. This is as good as this guitar is ever going to get. The fretwork on it now is perfect. It's got great pickups in it. It's got good solid hardware on it. Good tuning keys on it. Good electronics. Pure tone jack. Because you guys heard me when I plugged it in. It's like clock. It's a solid guitar. Yeah, I think it does too. That's original free range chicken. I think it's a good sounding guitar. It's the only guitar I have that has that sound. I mean, like I said, I have another P90 guitar, but it has the factory Firefly pickups on it, and they're kind of scratchy sounding. This one, this one really does have a nice warm sound to it. I mean, these aren't, designed to be like the Schecter here. It's not that kind of guitar. But when I want to play that kind of music, I can get into this and I can play some. It's got a good sound. I haven't quite, if you guys listen, I got a little feed issue with my reverb, and I tried tracking it down before the stream. Hear it? Right there. I don't know where that's coming from, but I know it's in the reverb. Let me put this thing back on the wall. We've played everything else tonight, so why not? It seems to be mainly Linnell's guitar night. So since we're playing all Linnell's guitars, let's play Linnell's Ibanez. So most of her guitars are on the walls now, guys. I have one, two, three. Well, actually, I guess it's about the same. I got the same amount of guitars on each one. So let me. Hear that? I don't know where that's coming from. All right, now that we've got it tuned to this weird tuning, so now we can. I'm definitely gonna have to figure out where that ringing's coming from. This is a stupid nice guitar. I think maybe it's a decay or I got too much time in the, but it's causing a loop. I don't know if you guys hear it on your end. Maybe that's what it is, Kirk. Digital ghosting. I don't know. It's in the reverb. If I turn the reverb off, it disappears. So I've got something really screwed up in the reverb. Yeah, maybe it's a decay rate or something. Or it could be the feedback in it. Because I know when I turn off the reverb, that weird sound goes away.
Backwoods Billy says it's been popping since he came in.
Been popping? Well, I know if you all are really quiet, I do have an artifact going on with the wing that in the background. It's way low. I have yet to been able to get that out. And I'm going to call Sweetwater tomorrow about it. That's in the rack. That's the wing rack itself doing that. So I'm not going to blame the Behringer wing because I'm new to it. And it could possibly be probably 99.9% me not having the signal routed properly or not having something set properly. So I'm going to call Sweetwater tomorrow. First, I'll call tech support and ask them.
Backwoods Billy said it's like a fan running. Could it be this heater out here?
It could be. Let me go to Linnell's mic. I don't hear anything on Linnell's side. Let me mute Linnell's mic. No, it's not in Linnell's mic. It could be in the Yamaha. And it could be in this amp because we also have that amp set up to play. Let's plug that in because everyone says they like to hear everyone likes to hear the rack amp. So the rack amp, see the little green light right there. This is the rack mount amplifier. So I have a lot of crap coming into the wing and everything is up. So I guess technically speaking, I should mute channels that I'm not using. You know what it is? The went away. You know what that is? That is the Yamaha amplifier, guys. We just figured it out. The THR-10 is making that clicking and carrying on. It never did that, or I didn't hear it going into the Mackie. But I'm going to unmute. Here, let me change cameras. Now, guys, I'll get you see. I did get the other camera going. So here's the wing, right? And these two channels right here go to that little Yamaha amp right there. Okay? I am going to unmute both channels. Really quiet. No noise. Now I'm going to turn on the Yamaha. Hear it? Now I'm going to mute it. It's the Yamaha. Oh, what are you going to do, guys? I do like the amp, but that's okay. We have a very expensive rack amp right behind the camera. And the amp we are playing through is that great big monstrosity right there. Just so you guys know. You can't beat tubes. You can hear in the chord how it breaks up. It's just got a breakup. That's my favorite amplifier. It should be my favorite amplifier. It cost enough money to build something like that, and that's just proof, guys. The stuff in that thing is 30 years old. And I hear it all the time. Oh, you're playing through art junk. That's 16-bit art junk. I think that sounds good for 16-bit art junk. If someone wants a better sound than that, I get it. I mean, I've been chasing tone my whole life, trying to get something that I hear in my head out in the room. But I can't stand when people say, "Oh, that's so outdated," and the new stuff is so much better. I get it. I just bought a new wing rack, and I get this. I do. I get it. I get why the allure is there with the plug-ins and the ease. I don't need to use any of my, look at all the channel strips and mic preamps in that rack over there. I don't need any of that anymore. I don't need any of it. Just the bottom piece, the power amp. I don't need any of those mic preamps. I don't need the channel strips. I don't need the compressors. I don't need the limiters. I don't technically need the S200s or the Alesis Quadriverb or the Alesis Miniverb. It's all built into that. All that crap is in there, plus more. Because if I use one limiter and a channel strip, it's done. That's on channel 1. Well, I have a limiter, a compressor, an EQ, a dB, all that in every channel. So I have 48 of every one of those built into that. I kind of get it. But I don't like when people say, "Oh, well, the old stuff, it didn't sound good. It didn't do." I mean, what are we doing? There's still people chasing the brown sound. he didn't have an Axe Effects. He didn't have a Quad Cortex. He didn't have a Kemper. He didn't have a Friedman. But yet everyone chases that sound that everyone says the old junk, the new stuff's better. Not going off on a tangent, but if tube amps suck so bad, how come modelers are always emulating tube amps? I don't see Axe Effects making a patch saying, "Ooh, we just made a new patch of a Line 6 Spider." I don't see that. Why? Because the Line 6 Spider was an awful amplifier in its own right. Everyone wants the Friedman, the Sedano, the VHT sound, the Brown sound, the Marshall sound, the Bogner. That's what they're chasing. A Vox. A Vox. There's certain amps that just have a sound. The Vox has that. Now, I'm not saying that you have to like it, but you can hear a Vox amp. A Vox amp has a voicing, and people go, "That's a Vox amplifier." It's just something about it. It's like the Marshall sound. It doesn't even have to be a Marshall, and they go, "It sounds like a Marshall." That's how Vox is. People go, "Kind of sounds like a Vox." So when I think the three amps that have the most recognition as far as sound, I think Vox, Marshall, and believe it or not, Fender. Those are the three. And if someone else can think of another amplifier that just has that signature sound, other than a Fender, because of their open airy reverbs, the Vox, everyone knows what a Vox sounds like, or the Marshall. Everyone chases those three sounds. And I'm not saying that, the 6505 and the 5150 aren't iconic amps, but they're really technically like a Friedman. It's kind of like a modded Marshall type sound. I get there are some other ones. Friedman's got some of his own things, but it's still just a really glorified Marshall, kind of. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. There are some other ones. I would say Mesa Boogie has its own sound when it comes to the twin rectifier. When you turn one of those on, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, that's a twin rectifier. So maybe I should add the Mesa Boogie twin rectifier to my 4. But the other Mesas kind of don't have that. It's only the twin rectifier that really has that, oh, that's a twin rectifier. That kicks butt. That's what I like about a tube amp. It just keeps going. And a digital amp, when it models it, it kind of loses its tone because it's modeling it. A real tube amp will have that. Bad note there. But you guys get the point. So I guess we might just start using the rack amplifier because it's not causing the artifact. I'm glad that someone said something like that in the chat. Yeah, we just finally got wherever that camera is, this camera working again. And I've made this comment before. If you guys have, there's several people in the stream right now that have YouTube channels. Do not buy Mevos. These Mevo cameras. Just save yourself $1,000 and do not buy the 3 Mevo Pack streaming cameras. They just have problems after problems after problems after problems. We changed Wi-Fi providers, our internet connection, and before you do it and you have Mevos, make sure you switch your Mevos before you turn your old router in, because if you don't, you're going to be screwed. I tried everything to get these things to hook up to the new one. Well, guess what? The only way to get to the settings is through your, once they're connected to a system, is through your Wi-Fi. So I had to hook in, thank the Lord we hadn't taken the router back. So I had to plug the router back in, fire it up, get my computer to find them on the old system, then manually tell them to switch to the new platform. Then switch them out and unplug the router. I looked everywhere. There's no setup menu unless it connects to the router. Horrible, horrible, horrible camera. And I think that the image isn't bad. It's the software that comes with the camera is just no good. They claim it works well with your phone and with tablets, but they have nothing for the computer. And it makes no sense. I thought a tablet was a computer. I just, if someone has these darn cameras that can give me a crash course on how to make them actually work. I have 3. I've only been able to get 2 to work. The only way to get 2 wireless cameras is through your phone app. And we tried that on one stream. We hooked the 2 Mevos up to the app on the phone and then set it at the computer, and it lagged horribly. So my computer will detect 1 wireless camera. It sees the other camera, but if you click on this one, it mutes out the other one. It like turns it light gray and you can't click on it. So if you unclick this one, then you can click on the other camera, okay? But then it grays out the other one. You can only have 1 wireless. So my other Mevo is hardwired, and that was a nightmare to get set up too, because I had to download this NDI software, and I had to run that camera through that software to allow the computer to use it in wired webcam mode. If not, they want you to buy this adapter for the back of the thing to do wired, which they don't tell you. They also don't tell you that you can't actually run them on a computer like that, only through a tablet or your cell phone. So save yourself some money. Find a different option other than these Mevos. They're not very good. Yeah, it'll do that. It's the digital. It falls off and it makes that gray digital, and it blocks out the screen, does some weird things. I saw it doing it. I just didn't pay any attention to it. That's the next thing we plan on doing, guys, is updating our cameras. I definitely want to update the cameras. Let's real quick, I want to play the Schecter through the rack amp. Let me put this guitar back up. So what do you guys think of the rack amp? Does it sound pretty good? I like the tone the rack amp has. You know, it's got my sound. It's got that sound. And I know a lot of people are chasing that sound. Change some effects. I don't have my X15 out here. I have a MIDI control board, so I don't have it hooked up to it. It has chorus, flanger. It's a stupid amount of effects that you can put on it. It does well, but it does this the best, and it does cleans. The reverb in the unit has the standard ART reverb. And I've gotten really good at tuning out that bad artifact thing that all arts do it. And this is as good as I can get the reverb.
Is that a Hendrix one?
This particular setup is going through a Friedman. So the distortion you hear is a Friedman, and it is not stacked. So I'm not using a boost pedal into the Friedman. Right here's my Friedman rack mount module. And basically all the ART is doing is effects. So what the preamp you're hearing is a Friedman through the Synergy SYN2. And then we're using a BBE 362 Sonic Maximizer. So in reality, effect-wise, I'm using a compressor, a limiter gate, little delay, little reverb, and a little bit of chorus in the Sonic Maximizer. That's what you're actually hearing in this signal path. It's a good sounding amplifier. And like I said, guys, everything now is new because I just we're still kind of experimenting with the wing rack. So I'm still learning what the input signals need to be. And from what I can tell, I never once heard the Yamaha make that funny sound in the old rack, my old Mackie. So I think someone last week said that it could be an issue with the shielded cable.
So let's hear some cleans.
On the rack amp, I'd have to go over and switch and find a clean channel. And I can be honest, I don't think there's too many clean channels on the amp. And my headphones. Let me, yeah, I'm going through I don't have a clean channel. I'd have to, because, well, I got the Sedano. I could hook it into the Sedano. I got a Sedano preamp right here. Next week, I'll spend some time this week, guys, and try to get some different sounds. It's capable of doing all that. When I played out live, I had clean, crunch, dirt. You know, I had all those sounds. I just don't have it all set up. It takes a lot of time, guys. It does. I haven't used the MIDI foot controller in that thing in probably 4 years since the last time I hooked the MIDI foot controller onto it. So I'd have to go back and see what all I can do. There's so much I could do here, guys. It just takes so much time. If you're watching other YouTube channels and they've got all this stuff figured out and, you know, all these amps and all these controllers, most likely they're doing it full time for a living. I don't. But I do this for fun and for the community, if that makes sense. And it's a cool place to come and hang out. That's the main thing. So, and keep it also in mind, this is our living room. So I don't really have a place like a band room or something that I can leave a lot of stuff set up. So right before the stream, we take the time and set up the cameras. There's a cable running over to the art now that comes over. All that stuff has to be wired up before the stream because we walk through here. So I got to take like that mic down, the lights down. So it takes a long time. If ever in the future we actually have a room to actually set everything up and be more professional and keep the mics in one spot, keep the mics in front of the amp exactly in the spot every week, then you could kind of build on it. Once you got it set up, then you can move on to the next thing. Here, it's kind of hard to do that. Like one week, you might hear there's a little difference in the amplifier when we were using the mics. Your mic placement's a big thing when it comes to, micing off your cabinet. It can really change the way your amp sounds. Some weeks people are like, it sounded better last week. Probably had the mic in a better spot. Now, what we're doing now, I'm not using the Pro Valve power amp. We're going into this little Nu X Pulse pedal. Let me move this. So if you guys can see it, this little Nu X Pulse pedal right here.
A Strat player would love to hear the Vandenberg.
I actually need to work on the Vandenberg, but we'll plug it in. It does need some TLC. There's a problem with the jack on it. I'm gonna unhook the strap. We're not doing the Kurt test tonight. The diehard channel guys will know that joke. No Kurt testing allowed tonight. See that? So it needs the jack worked on. It's a solid. You can hear it. The Schecter's got a little bit more attack. It's a little brighter. This is a very smooth sounding guitar.
It says his brother has a black one like that. The neck is super thin.
Yeah. This predates the Ibanez Wizard. These are phenomenal. Having a hard time playing tonight, guys. And I knocked it out of tune. Can you believe that? Yeah, it's got a very smooth sound. I love this tremolo on this one. I don't know what your friends has on it. This is a second gen. This has the Kaler spotter on it. I wish mine had the 2700, but it doesn't. I wish it did, but that's fine. It's still a solid bridge on this guitar. It's, out of both of them, I like the sound on this guitar better than the Schecter. That's more my sound. It really is. This is more my sound. It's a little. I like the breakup the pickup has. And this one's all stock. This is the PV pickup. Here's the center position. And this is my favorite position of any of my guitars. I like the center position in this because of where they put the single coil. It's very quacky.
Brothers is a 1988.
This is a 90. Your brother's probably has the tremolo that I want. So if whoever wants to sell it, look me up. If it's an 88, it has the Killer on it. It's very quacky. Go up just to this pickup. So a lot of people take a little of that out. The single coil is very quacky in this guitar. It's got a good sound. Yeah, if he wants to, well, I can't afford it because the Gen 1s go for more money than the Gen 2s. The Gen 2s are definitely getting up in value. Like this one's probably in the $1,200 range, just simply because it's a little beat up. But the original Gen 1s, especially the pink ones, they can go up in mint condition up to about $2,400. I mean, people ask more, but I think what they usually go for is 24 if it's like new, mint, perfect mint. A couple little dings, maybe 17 to 1800, and then condition like this one, about 1500.
Strap Player says, I remember a week after he got it in 88, he was taking it off and he hit the headstock with the ceiling fan and the tip of the headstock broke off. It's been glued on ever since.
Yeah, that definitely hurts the value of the guitar. But if you don't plan on selling it, it doesn't matter. I don't plan on selling this guitar, and it's got dents and chips, and it's definitely not perfect. I'm not going to get rid of this guitar. I'm not crazy. I love this guitar. I buy new guitars, and I can always pick this one up and go, this is a great guitar. It doesn't matter what comes into the house. This is still a great guitar. Guitars don't become less great. Once you get a good guitar, and again, I'm going to qualify, you can get a good Firefly. If you get a good Firefly, it's a good guitar. It doesn't matter if you get a Gibson. That Firefly, if it's a good guitar, it's going to be a good guitar next year. So this is not going anywhere. This is my baby. I played this out for so long, and it's a good guitar. I just need to I really need to spend a little time on it. And it's just dirt. This jack probably needs to be replaced. And I've been holding off. It's stupid me because of value. It's all stock. But again, I don't plan on selling it. So I should just probably go ahead and put a pure tone jack in it. And while I'm in there, just freshen up the solder joints. Make sure everything's nice. Make sure there's no corrosion. And just give it a good cleaning. Put a pure tone jack in it. Give everything a good cleaning. Go through the neck. It's like got some sweat stains all through here from playing it. It really doesn't need any fretwork. I don't think I would touch the frets on it. Just kind of clean up the back of the neck a little bit on it. It's got a pretty bad dent right here, but I wouldn't be able to fix that. I might be able to steam it out, but you know, it's all memories. But I definitely need to fix the jack on it. Everybody has a guitar like that. I don't care who you are. You've just got one that you know is a good guitar, and you're not going to get rid of it. There's no sense in getting rid of it. I feel that way about pretty much all my PBs. There's no reason for me to get rid of any of my PB guitars. Um, are they getting more and more valuable? Well, 100%. They're getting more and more valuable. And I have all the PBs that are very hard to find. The Nitros and the Vandenbergs. I would love to have a PV Destiny. That would be a dream guitar for me. And there's another PV that they made. Oh, the Neck Through Nitro. I do not have a Neck Through Nitro. I do not have a Neck Through original Vandenberg. Odds are I will never be able to afford a Neck Through original Vandenberg or one of the Neck Through PV Nitros. That's no big deal. I've got plenty. I get more than I need as far as the PV stuff. There's no need in me going out and looking for another one. I do have the red one I picked up about 4 years ago. I don't really need that one. So most likely we're going to do a refresh on that guitar and most likely sell it. I heard her clear her throat. She may not let me sell it. But that's a beautiful guitar. It is the single pickup active PV Nitro. I believe it's an 87 model. We'll see what comes, in the future. Okay, guys, we've been on for almost 3 hours. If you can't tell, I've gotten very winded. And that's good. I know it's always a good stream when we're on this long and it just keeps rolling through. And I want to thank everyone that gave a super chat tonight. It really does help. And everyone that made comments. The chat rate goes up and down and up and down. And I know the chat rate is pretty nice in the stream when I see a lot of new faces or comments, or I see the amount of people watching goes up. That's usually YouTube looking at what you all are talking about and saying, hey, they're getting into it. Let's push the video out for some new people. If you're new, please go down, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button for us. That would be great. We are trying to grow the channel. I thought we were going for 6. Searching for Tone. If you want to start a stream, we'll all flock over to your stream, and I'm going to drink hot cocoa and watch you. You can do the other half of the stream for us. What do they call that? We'll raid Searching for Tone's stream. Everyone just leave here and go there. But my voice is done. I have been definitely doing a lot of talking. So, but next Saturday, guys, we're doing the giveaway. So please come in for that. And remember, we're going to have a show on Thursday night. Don't forget that. And like I said, I can't do the stream without you guys. It would be really boring not to have the interaction that we have, with you guys coming in. So thanks again. Again, please go down and hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, and you didn't chat because you thought you had to be a subscriber, well, you missed out on talking to some great people because you didn't have to be a subscriber to chat. I want you to subscribe, but I'm not forcing you to become a subscriber just to come in and chat. Our Thursday night stream is the exact same time as our Saturday night stream. It's 8 p.m. Central Time.
Eastern.
Oh, yeah. Eastern Time.
Huh.
Central Time. Guys, I got a squirrel brain. That's okay. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Exact same on Thursdays and Fridays. And occasionally we do one in the middle of the week. So I know we kind of left Devastator in the dark the other night. He was kind of like, "Oh, nobody told me about it." I thought he was about ready to throw picks at us or something, because no one told him that we were going to do a stream. Uh, Cycle Man, how do I enter? All you got to do, I know you're already subscribed to the channel, Cycleman.
It's Kleisman.
Oh, Seisman.
It's Mark.
Mark. Oh my God, that's right. YouTube keeps changing everybody's name.
Juke gave us 50 cents.
Thank you so much, Juke. That helps out tremendously. YouTube changed everybody's name, and I can't know who's who anymore. All you got to do is go over to Discord, man. Mark, go over to Discord. You'll see an opt-in room, and put in there, "Hey, it's Mark, it's me," and say, "I want to enter to win." And you're entered, buddy, because you're already a channel guy. We everyone here knows you except me, evidently. She always has to remind me, "Oh, that's Mark." I'm like, "Oh." YouTube, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get used to everyone's name now that they convoluted everyone's name and changed everything. I'm still trying to get my head around every. That's why the other stream, when what's his name said, you're either new or you're someone. What was the gentleman's name? Jay something. It looked familiar, and I know YouTube changed his name. So, but he was a new subscriber, so I thought that was really cool. If someone new, it wasn't the guy that I thought come into the stream sometimes. But that's all good. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks so much for coming in, and I'll see everyone on Thursday night. And again, we're going to do the 5-minute closing chat so you guys can hang out, say goodbye, and then talk about how bad I play guitar for the next 5 minutes. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on Thursday night. Oh, I moved everything around on my computer. Starting soon, I think it's this button.